Hello folks, it's another month and another review for you from me. I chose a brand new game that came out at the end of January from Scavenger's Studio. Season, A Letter for the Future is a quirky and beautiful little game which is a great way to while away a weekend or cold evening. You follow the protagonist as she leaves home for the very first time after her friend had a prophecy that the world as they know it would soon end. She is tasked with capturing the world as it is now, which is referred to as a season, so that future generations can still remember what it was like. On her journey, she encounters a valley settlement who are being forced to leave their homes and decides to capture the very last day in the valley. This game is very difficult to categorise as it plays out a little like a walking simulator in that it's very story heavy and focused on the micro-environment you are inhabiting. In essence, all the game asks you to do is capture photographs and audio of the world around you, both natural and man-made. There are very minor puzzle elements if you want to 100% complete the game, but they are relatively simple as long as you don't think too hard and just go with the flow. Two highlights of the mechanics of the game have to be the bike and the scrapbook. To get around, you can walk, run, or cycle. Racing around the countryside is exhilarating and a refreshing mechanic that blends nicely with the DualSense controller of the PS5. The scrapbook is where you can really let your artistic flair shine as you incorporate the sounds and sights you have captured alongside text, stamps, and other designs. It means your playthrough can be unique as you focus and capture the things that interest you the most from your time exploring the season. I also enjoyed the strange multimedia visualscape the creators made by incorporating real video footage into elements of the game to give this kind of strange haziness to the past. Now, this is only going to be a short review, so I will keep my critique short. I really don't think any of these things I'm about to say should stop you from trying Season, but it wouldn't be fair not to mention them. I did have some issues with the plot and pacing of the game. Part of me does wonder if there was meant to be much more to this game, and the devs made a decision to change the story later on. There is much talk in the game about seeing the world, and yet you are very much confined to one small area. Perhaps I'm overthinking things, but I think a few edits to the script would have perhaps made it clearer what the protagonist's agenda actually was. In line with this, I found some elements of the game a little confusing, which I won't go into too much detail about as I don't want to spoil your run through, but safe to say there is a lot of dialogue in this game, but not always much clarity as they very much leave you to work out some elements for yourself. I fully expected the game to go in a completely different direction when you uncover a strange conspiracy, but it just seemed to get lost in the mist of waffling philosophy every time you took a photograph of a goat. Side note, I took a lot of photos of the goats. It's also a shame that such a beautiful little game has been marred by controversy surrounding its creators. Scavenger's Studio CEO Simon Darvo was accused of sexual misconduct and creating a hostile work environment in 2019, at which point he did step down from the role, although further issues were revealed as time went on and the company was audited during the making of Season. Sadly, Darvo was still allowed to work on this project. According to Distractify, the team over at Season asked Darvo to provide an external perspective for the project to fine-tune any elements needing touching up before the official release. So even after leaving the company for sexual misconduct and more, he was still allowed to work on the game, which just leaves me feeling a bit uncomfortable, particularly as this game questions authority in every step and turn of the wheel. Hopefully the new practices Scavenger's Studio have put in place will allow employees of all genders to feel heard and safe to create more beautiful games. Ultimately, Season, A Letter for the Future is a small game that should not be overlooked. Its bright colours and whimsical animations create a space for contemplation and meditation as you look for the beauty in everything around you. You'll come out of playing this game and want to pay just a fraction more attention to the world outside your door.